Welcome back. So we're gonna take a look at some more examples. I feel like I yawn every time right before I start the video, so it looks like I've been crying. I'm just so sad that I miss y'all. I miss y'all. I really am sad that I'm not gonna get to see y'all, but at the same time, I'm not crying. I just yawned. Like yeah, right, Mr. Johnson. All right, so let's look at some more today. Um, I think what they've done is they have not given us complete anything yet. So if you're like looking at this and you're going cross-eyed and you're confused, don't worry, so am I, because they haven't finished anything yet. All right, so let's actually try and you want to try it my way, the uh, the way where we just stack the numbers. Let's try this real quick, okay? So the first thing that you're gonna do, if you want to get a marker and try this on your desk, try it on your desk. All right, just pause it and come back. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to stack your decimal points. All right, we do know that there's a decimal point in both of these numbers. So that's our anchor. And that decimal point's in the same place in both numbers. All right, so no matter how many digits we have, the decimal point's in the same place. So if we put them in a line, that means that we can see exactly what our place values are that we're comparing. Right, so let's go ahead and let's fill in both of these numbers. So on the first number, I have a 0 in the ones place. I have a 1 in the tenths. Sorry, sometimes I need to emphasize the 1 in the tenths place. I have a 4 in the hundredths place. And then I have a 3 in the thousandths place. All right, so that's the number that I have on the left. The number I have on the right might actually look like money because that to me looks like 25 cents. But 25 cents, you'd have a 0 in the ones place, you have a 2 in the tenths place, and then you have a 5 in the hundredths place. All right, so now we're looking at two numbers. Right now, we don't have the same amount of digits in each number, so it might be a little bit difficult to see what the difference is, but we can add a face to save a place. All right, adding a face. Remember, I'm just gonna draw an emoji 0. Right, so it's a 0. It's a 0. The reason why I'm gonna put a face in it is so I know that I wrote it, because my original number is not 250 thousandths, but I do think that 250 thousandths is easier to compare. All right, so by putting that emoji 0, I know that I added that 0 there. By putting a face in it, I know that I put it there. So if I need to, I can take that off, and I know that my original number is still the number in red. All right, so an emoji 0 is like a 0 that we know that we just used to help us. All right, so does the 0 change the value of the number at all? No. So the 0 doesn't change the value of the number, it just makes it easier to look at. So now, let's look at these two numbers. If you cover up the 0 and the decimal point, so I'm just gonna, well, I can't. I don't have anything to do that, darn. All right, so if we cover up the 0 and the decimal point, go ahead and just take your hand and like cover up the 0 and the decimal point. Cover up the 0 and the decimal point. Now you're comparing two 3-digit numbers, right? If we cover up the 0 and the decimal point, we are just looking at 143 and 250. Now, if I'm just comparing those numbers as whole numbers, which one is the bigger number? If we're talking about alligator food, which one of these is going to be more interesting to the alligator? 143 pieces of alligator food or 250 pieces of alligator food? Yeah, 250. That alligator is hungry. He wants 250. All right, so if we're looking at this one, the alligator is going to face 25 hundredths because 25 hundredths is actually bigger than 143 thousandths. I know, you might be thinking, well, that's 3 digits over here. Oh my gosh, let me use a different. Okay, that's 3 digits over here, and this one's only 2 digits. But remember, that decimal point shows us. That decimal point shows us that these numbers, even though they have a different amount of digits, if I draw that emoji 0 in there, now they have the same amount of digits. And it doesn't change the value, but I do know that 250 is larger than 143. So my alligator will eat 25 hundredths. Remember, I put the emoji 0 on there, so when I take it off, it turns back into my original number. All right. Now, there are some different ways of looking at this with the pictures, so we'll come back and look at that.